Look at the last 5 minutes of your life. Be honest. How many thoughts were actually yours? Not borrowed from a reel, not triggered by a notification, not planted by an algorithm, not shaped by something you scrolled past without even noticing. Because there's a terrifying possibility. Humans may not be losing intelligence. We may be losing something far more important. The ability to think, not calculate, not memorize, think, slowly, deeply, independently. And the strangest part? Most people won't even notice it happening. Because this isn't the kind of collapse that arrives with explosions. It arrives silently, one notification at a time, one short video at a time, one distraction at a time. Until one day, you realize something uncomfortable. You haven't truly been alone with your own thoughts in years. But to understand how humanity reached this point, we need to go back, way back. For nearly 300,000 years, the human brain evolved under brutal conditions. Imagine waking up as a hunter-gatherer. No phone, no screen, no internet, just a silence. Cold air touches your skin. Your tribe is asleep, the sun is rising, and your brain begins doing what it evolved to do. Observe, predict, reflect, plan. Thinking wasn't optional. Thinking was survival. You had to remember migration routes, track animal behavior, predict weather, understand social tension inside the tribe. A bad decision could kill you. A good decision could save everyone. Your brain became the most powerful survival machine on Earth. And then something happened. Humanity got smarter. We built language, agriculture, cities, empires, libraries, science, machines, computers, the internet. And then, we created something no brain in human history had ever faced before: infinite information. At first, that sounds like the greatest invention ever. And in many ways, it is. You can access more knowledge in 1 minute than a king could in a lifetime. That sounds like progress. But here's the problem. Access to information is not the same as understanding. And information overload creates a hidden danger. Because when your brain receives too much input, it stops processing deeply. It starts filtering, skimming, reacting, not thinking. And this is where things get strange. In 1971, psychologist Herbert A. Simon made a prediction. He said, "A wealth of information creates a poverty of attention." That was before social media, before smartphones, before TikTok, before AI. And yet, he saw it coming. Because attention is finite. Your brain only has so much cognitive energy. Every notification consumes some. Every scroll consumes some. Every interruption consumes some. Now imagine your attention like water. Thousands of tiny holes are punched into the container. What happens? It leaks. Slowly. Constantly. Until there's almost nothing left for deep thought. But that's not even the strangest part. The real danger isn't distraction. It's outsourcing thought. Think about what happens today. Don't know something? Search it. Need directions? GPS? Can't remember birthdays? Phone reminder. Need entertainment? Algorithm decides. Need opinions? Internet provides them instantly. Need answers? AI gives them. Convenient? Absolutely. Dangerous? Potentially, because tools that help us think can slowly replace thinking. And before you misunderstand, technology is not the villain. The problem is dependence. There's a huge difference. A calculator helps you solve math. But if you never do mental math again, part of that ability weakens. Your brain works the same way. Use it, and pathways strengthen. Avoid effort, and pathways weaken. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. Your brain physically rewires based on repeated behavior. What you repeatedly do, you become better at. What you repeatedly avoid, you become worse at. So ask yourself, what is modern life training your brain to do? Focus, or switch constantly, reflect deeply or react instantly, question ideas or consume opinions. And this is where the story becomes disturbing. Studies show the average attention span for sustained focus has dropped dramatically in the digital era. Long-form reading declines. Deep work feels harder. Silence feels uncomfortable. Boredom feels painful. Why? Because boredom used to be the birthplace of thought. Read that again. Boredom was never the enemy. It was the space where ideas formed. Think about some of humanity's greatest discoveries. How many began during constant stimulation? Very few. Ideas emerge in silence, in stillness, in wandering thought. But modern life attacks stillness. The moment boredom appears, we kill it. Waiting in line? Phone. Sitting alone? Phone. Bathroom? Phone. Bed? Phone. Wake up? Phone. Your brain never gets empty space. And without empty space, thinking suffers. But then AI entered the story, and this changes everything. Because AI doesn't just give information, it gives finished thoughts. That's different. Very different. Before AI, search engines gave you sources. You still had to compare, interpret, decide. Now, you ask. It answers. Instantly, cleanly, conveniently. And that creates a dangerous temptation. Why struggle through thinking when something else can do it faster? This sounds efficient, but efficiency isn't always good for cognition. Muscles grow through resistance. Remove resistance. Strength disappears. Could the same be happening to thought? And if that sounds dramatic, look around. How often do people pause before reacting? How often do they read beyond headlines? How often do they challenge their own beliefs? Rarely. Instead, we see faster reactions, stronger outrage, shorter patience, shallower understanding. Because fast information creates fast opinions. And fast opinions often feel like knowledge. But they aren't the same. Knowing facts is not wisdom. Repeating opinions is not thinking. Quoting intelligence is not intelligence. And this is where the most uncomfortable truth appears. Many people today don't think. They assemble. They collect ideas from influencers, podcasts, reels, threads, news, friends. Then stitch those pieces together and call it their opinion. But is it really theirs, or is it borrowed? Because real thinking is painful. It requires uncertainty, doubt, patience. You must sit with confusion. You must tolerate not knowing. Most people hate that feeling, so they escape into certainty, someone else's certainty. That's why simple narratives spread so easily. Your brain loves shortcuts. Shortcuts save energy, and the brain loves saving energy. Evolution designed it that way, which means thinking deeply has always required conscious effort. But the modern world constantly pushes in the opposite direction, toward speed, toward convenience, toward instant answers, toward mental laziness. And then something dangerous happens. If enough people stop thinking independently, society changes. Because civilizations don't run on information alone. They run on judgment, wisdom, critical thought, the ability to question, the ability to resist manipulation. Remove that, and people become programmable. That sounds extreme, until you realize manipulation has never been easier. Algorithms know what captures your attention, what triggers your fear, what fuels your anger, what keeps you scrolling. And attention is power, always has been. Who controls attention influences thought. Who influences thought influences behavior. Who influences behavior influences society. This is no longer about productivity. This is civilization level. Because the day humans stop thinking, they become easier to control than ever before. And maybe that day doesn't arrive all at once. Maybe it arrives gradually, quietly, comfortably, just like every dangerous transformation in history. The strangest part is, you can feel this happening inside yourself. You open your phone for one message. 20 minutes disappear. You start reading something important. Suddenly you feel restless. You try sitting in silence. Your hand reaches for stimulation automatically. That impulse tells a story. Your brain is being trained, right now, by your environment, every day. So what do? Reject technology? No. That's not the answer. The solution isn't abandoning tools. It's reclaiming agency. Use tools. Don't surrender to them. Train focus deliberately. Read long-form content. Sit in silence. Write your own thoughts. Question what you consume. Pause before reacting. Be comfortable being bored. Think without searching, even for a few minutes, because that discomfort matters. That resistance matters. That struggle matters. It strengthens something ancient, something deeply human, the ability to think for yourself. And perhaps that's what makes humans special. Not raw intelligence, not memory, not speed, but conscious thought, reflection, awareness, choice. The ability to step back and ask, why do I believe this? Is this true? Did I choose this thought? Or was it given to me? And maybe the scariest future isn't one where AI becomes smarter than humans. Maybe it's one where humans become too passive to care. Because intelligence lost isn't always stolen. Sometimes it's surrendered. One convenience at a time, one shortcut at a time, one distraction at a time, until thinking feels exhausting and dependence feels normal. So tonight, before you open another app, before you consume another opinion, sit in silence for 1 minute. Just one. No screen, no stimulation, no borrowed thoughts, only you. And ask yourself one question. When was the last time you truly thought for yourself?